Chicago Sky, y'all stink, bro. Y'all, look, there's trash and then there's trash. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, the Chicago Sky got destroyed by the stud buds. Everybody watches the stud buds. Shout out to Courtney Williams and Tisha Eiderman, man. Listen, stud buds stood on business today. Napheesa Collier stood on business today. They destroyed the Chicago Sky.
Angel Reese just had her worst performance of the season. And somehow, despite the disaster, the Chicago Sky looked more competitive than they have in weeks. She committed 9 turnovers, yes 9, and while she managed to put up 11 points and 11 rebounds to maintain her double-double streak. She nearly completed a triple-double with those 10 turnovers. As a team, the Sky gave up 23 turnovers to the Minnesota Lynx, essentially handing them the win. But here's the wild part no one's really discussing. The Sky actually looked more functional when Angel Reese was off the court. The numbers are starting to pile up, and they're not painting a flattering picture for the player Chicago has been marketing as the face of their franchise. Should the Sky consider trading Reese altogether? That's the debate fans are starting to have. Meanwhile, during the game broadcast, it was clear the mistakes weren't isolated. Ticha Penicheiro pointed out Reese's mishandling of simple plays. Rebecca Allen inbounded the ball to Reese, who promptly traveled. Then, facing a double team, she attempted a pass that went straight into the backcourt. Heidman scrambled after it. The final score was 91-68 in favor of Minnesota, but that score didn't fully reflect the dominance the Lynx displayed. From the opening tip, Minnesota dismantled Chicago piece by piece, running every possession like a perfectly executed basketball clinic. The Sky, on the other hand, looked like a team playing a completely different sport. 9 turnovers to 3 assists, an awful ratio, especially when the turnovers weren't just random mistakes. Some were outright baffling. Reese tried passing from her hip, took wild shots, and executed passes that didn't seem to have a target. On one play, she appeared to throw the ball with no intention or awareness of what she was doing. It was chaotic. These weren't the kinds of mistakes you'd expect from a professional player, let alone someone who's being propped up as the future of a franchise. Here's what separates good teams from great ones. Great teams don't take their foot off the gas when they sense an opponent struggling. Minnesota played with relentless energy for all 40 minutes, like they had a personal vendetta against Chicago. Even with a comfortable lead, they kept pressing, attacking, and exposing the Sky's weaknesses on every possession. Napheesa Collier was cooking, as they say, 2 of 16 from the floor, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. 50% shooting. Kayla McBride was equally deadly, shooting 8 of -14 and 3 of 7 from deep. Every Lynx starter finished with a +20 or higher in plus-minus domination across the board. On the flip side, the Sky's 39.3% shooting percentage was a sign of how suffocating Minnesota's defense truly was. Every Chicago possession felt like an uphill battle. The players forced bad shots, hesitated on basic passes, and generally played timid, indecisive basketball. Anytime you're shooting under 40% as a team in professional basketball, something is fundamentally broken with your offensive scheme. The Sky are now 2 games behind the Los Angeles Sparks, further solidifying how deep their struggles run. Minnesota, meanwhile, improved to 21-4 on the season, continuing what's shaping up to be one of their best campaigns ever. They're not just winning, they're demolishing teams at home. Chicago, now sitting at 7-16, is 4 games out of a playoff spot. That's a significant deficit this late in the season. Without dramatic changes, they're not just struggling, they're effectively eliminated from playoff contention. And then there's the absurd moment where someone compared Angel's Island to Epstein's Island, meaning no one's there. It's just empty. Another day, another performance that makes you question everything about this Chicago roster. The Sky didn't just lose, they were completely outclassed, to the point it looked like they didn't belong in the same league as the Lynx. Minnesota forced 23 turnovers, the most they've caused in a single game all year. Think about that. The Sky made the Lynx defense look historically elite, that it's not just about execution. These are systemic failures in decision-making, ball security, and basic basketball IQ. And the fans who constantly critique Caitlin Clark for her turnovers have been awfully quiet about Reese. In fact, Reese had 7 turnovers in her last game before the All-Star break, and people brushed it off. But Clark gets hounded for even minor mistakes, despite averaging nearly 10 assists per game. The hypocrisy is wild. This wasn't just a loss, it was a full-blown exposure of Chicago's reliance on individuals instead of team cohesion, and again, Angel Reese's stat line is the perfect example of this. Yes, she continued her double-double streak with 11 points and 11 rebounds, but it was an empty double-double one that hid how much she was hurting her team. Her 9 turnovers completely erased any positive impact she might have had. That's not just a bad night, that's sabotage. She's building her reputation on double-doubles, but this game showed just how meaningless those stats can be when they're accompanied by costly errors. Observers noted how reckless Reese was with the ball, gifting Minnesota free possessions over and over again. Whenever Chicago started to get a rhythm going, another Reese turnover would halt everything. She's simply not Alyssa Thomas yet. People keep forcing this point forward label on her. It's a joke at this point. 9 turnovers to 3 assists, a -19 rating. Those aren't the numbers of a franchise cornerstone. Let's break down some of those turnovers. She threw no-look passes straight to defenders. She traveled multiple times trying to post up. She launched errant passes into the stands. When trying to initiate the offense from near half court, she repeatedly lost the ball under little to no pressure. These aren't flukes, they're fundamental breakdowns in core basketball skills. Travel calls, basic mishandling, the kind of stuff that should be cleaned up by the time you leave high school. Angel Reese's limitations as a point forward are undeniable. That role requires elite ball handling, court vision, and decision-making, all of which she lacked in this game. Her 3-to-9 assist-to-turnover ratio is embarrassing even by amateur standards. And while she now ties Alina Del Dunn for 42 career double-doubles despite playing fewer games, these accolades are starting to feel more like distractions from deeper flaws. More and more fans are asking if these stats actually help the team win or just pad her resume, adding to the chaos. Reese picked up her 7th technical foul of the season, the most in the league. One more, and she gets an automatic suspension. This one came from a minor verbal altercation, showing that even under pressure, she struggles to maintain emotional control when her team desperately needs leadership. She got blocked again by Dorka Yuhush, who's now denied her 6 times this season. After drawing some questionable free throws, she immediately tried to start a fight and got tied up this time with Diamond Miller, a former Maryland teammate. Again, completely unnecessary. The difference between stat padding and actual winning contributions couldn't be clearer. While Reese was chasing numbers and losing the ball, players like Collier and McBride were playing beautiful, efficient team basketball. Both scored 19 points, but their scoring came within the offense. They made cuts, moved without the ball, hit open shots, and kept the team humming without dominating possessions. Should we be surprised? Not really. The Lynx are likely the second-best team in the league, behind the New York Liberty. Chicago, in contrast, is scraping the bottom. Camila Cardoso had 10 points and 10 rebounds, but shot just 4 of 12. That's just not enough. Angel Reese, again, had 4 of 12 shooting, but the turnovers tanked her impact. She finished with a -19 plus -. Compare that with Courtney Williams, who dropped 10 points and added 7 assists, keeping Minnesota's offense flowing. Balanced basketball wins. When every player contributes, the defense can't just key in on one person. Minnesota proved that if you tried to stop Collier, McBride would beat you. If you closed out on McBride, Williams would find the cutter. It's simple. Team basketball beats solo stat chasing every time. Angel Reese turned the ball over so many times. People online were joking they got 2 steals off her themselves. She was making passes to Casper, the friendly ghost, meaning literally no one. Her layup attempts were weak. It looked like a joke out there. The Lynx had 8 blocks and swarmed Chicago all night, turning defense into transition buckets and demoralizing their opponent with every possession. And let's not forget, Chicago is missing Ariel Atkins, their best perimeter scorer. Kia Nurse filled in with 16 points, but she alone couldn't fix their broken offense. You can't rely on one player to fix chemistry issues and lack of ball movement. Rachel Banham struggled. Angel Reese simply isn't capable of carrying this team on her own. She's a good player, but she should be the 3rd or 4th option on a strong roster, not the lead dog. If she's your top player, you're going to lose. Chicago's offense looks selfish and chaotic compared to Minnesota's unity and structure. Angel Reese's 9 turnovers were the worst symptom of a system that has no direction. She kept trying to force highlight plays when the simple move was right there. Her decision-making is hurting the team. This game was a textbook lesson in why team-first basketball will always beat flawed solo efforts. The numbers don't lie. The Sky actually performed better when Angel Reese was on the bench. The offense flowed more smoothly, players made quicker, smarter decisions, and the ball moved around. That's not a coincidence. That's a red flag. Chicago has to ask a painful question. Is their supposed franchise player actually holding them back?